Hi everyone, it's Danny. Alrighty, I have myself a new Caulaelia orchid. Alrighty, so this is the famous Iwanagaara Appleblossom. Now, I know you don't really read it that way. You might read it as Iwanagaara or something like that in English, but I'm pretty used to calling it how I would call it into my own language. And this is Iwanagaara. I'm sorry if I mispronounce it, but Ivana is a nice name, isn't it? Alrighty, so this is an orchid that I've actually been searching for about 2 years now. Schwerter had it at some point, but I kind of found other orchids that I kind of liked, I don't know. But I have been searching for it since then, and I never did find it. And this is because this orchid is fragrant, and it's beautiful, and it's just very famous. When I was searching for fragrant orchids, everybody was raving about this one, and I just wanted it. And lucky me, my orchid friend found it in a store and sent me a picture of it, and I told her, you know what, I think this is it, because it is a bifoliate cattleya, trifoliate in some cases, it's quite normal, and it does have the flower of a Iwanagaara. Now, this flower is not necessarily something you would, I don't know, recognize right away. Some people, some of my viewers actually confused this one with the Iwanagaara, but this one is a unifoliate or monofoliate. No, I think it's a unifoliate, and so it cannot be a Iwanagaara. But this one is. It's beautiful, and I love it. Alrighty. Right now I just received it. It has been in the cold. It's not really morning right now, so I'm not sure if this is the full extent of the smell, but right now to me it smells sort of like freesias or something like that. It's not very powerful, I have to admit. But I do know that orchids sometimes do not release full strength fragrance because of different reasons. I don't know. No hydration or lack of light, or they're not adapted, or so on. My Leodoro did not smell for 3 days, and I was so confused because it was supposed to be fragrant. But after 3 days, it was amazing. So I'm not going to describe the smell too much right now. When it starts to smell, I will add an annotation somewhere here, and also in the description a more detailed description of the smell as best as I can if you're interested in that. So yeah, check the description. Right now I would say it kind of smells like freesias, a bit sweet, hard to describe, but a bit floral, just a tiny little bit spicy, hard to tell right now, and I'm really not sure if this is the full power of the fragrance. In any case, you have the full parentage of this orchid in the description below, and there's something really interesting about this orchid. One of its parents, specifically the Dialaelia, I think, I'm not sure if it was reclassified, but the Dialaelia is supposed to be this white orchid that in time, as it ages, as the bloom ages, starts to change color, and it can actually go a really nice, pretty dark salmon. Not very dark, but you know, not white, not really washed away. In some cases, the flowers actually bloom yellow, and as they age, they become white. It is a very, very nice orchid. And I think this happens with its hybrid as well, the apple blossom. There are quite a few varieties of the apple blossom. Some of them are more white, some of them are more pink, some of them have a sort of a peachy blush to them. Some of them have a different type of lip, not so purple as you can see. And some look like mine. Now, mine is a sort of a pinkish color, but it does have a peach blush to it. This is a new flower, the last one that opened. So this peach hint to it kind of disappears as the flower ages, just a little bit. I don't know, it becomes a bit more white. So I think this is a trait of the Dialaelia, one of its parents. I find this really, really interesting, but just so you know, I've seen yellow apple blossoms, pink, whitish, so there are quite a few varieties, let's call them like that, and I'm not sure what type of clonal name this one has, but I know it's just a apple blossom. Now, as far as I know, this orchid is supposed to bloom once a year or something like that, but it's very floriferous. It can create a nice cluster of blooms, more than 3 actually. It can actually produce multiple pseudobulbs. It is a vigorous grower. I'll try to show you the pseudobulbs on mine. So as you can see, it's not very tall, but the pseudobulbs are quite fat, which is really nice. This particular one seems to have a nice root system as well. Look at this bulb, I just love it. Also, the foliage is pretty slender, as you can see, and as I told you, it is a bifoliate or trifoliate. Actually, this is the first time I see a trifoliate Cattleya type orchid. Most of the times it is a bifoliate. So if you see an orchid that looks like this, but it's a unifoliate, it's not an apple blossom, unfortunately. So I've never seen an apple blossom that had less than 2 leaves. Only the back bulbs, the very young bulbs, as you can see here, they have only 1 leaf. But as the plant matures, it produces 2 to 3 leaves. So this is the way to know the apple blossom. And also another thing to recognize it are these pretty stripes on the lip. Hopefully you can see this. The lip can vary in color. It can have purple, it can have white, it can have more yellow. I told you it really depends, and also it depends on the age of the flower. If it's a few days old, it might be a totally different color. But if you see these stripes and yeah, I guess the stripes from the throat here, these are a definite sign that this is a apple blossom. I didn't see a lot of Cattleya orchids with these stripes. If you look at this one, you can see there are no stripes. And I don't know, I'm just so happy I finally found it, or my friend actually found it, and that I have it, and it does smell really nice right now. I told you, like freesias, it's not very powerful, but again, it's just brand new. It has been in the cold. I'm not sure what type of care it received. I'm not sure if this is the first flower, because it does have a sheath here, but it seems to not have bloomed. There is no spike here. So maybe this is the first flower of the orchid, and first flowers are not necessarily the full potential. But anyway, I blabbed a lot about this orchid. I do love it. I do love Cattleya orchids, and actually I'm gonna post another video today regarding Cattleya orchids. I wanted to mention this now, but it's gonna be too much of a long video. So right now I'm just gonna make the identification video for the apple blossom and tell you a little bit about it. So check the description in a few days to see if I add something about the smell and so on, because I'm not sure right now. And yeah, later on I'll post the other video, and also I'm going to share with you some videos from my fellow YouTubers about Cattleyas that just make me drool. So yeah, alrighty, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. If you have questions or suggestions for me, just leave me a comment and I'll get back to you. If you want to stay in touch with me, of course, follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I will see you next time. Thank you for joining. Bye!